This is what I need at home. I am outside of Christy's Gourmet Gifts, which is located in Burlington, Ontario, in a pretty unassuming little strip mall here. But it is a gem of a shop, and I am so excited to introduce you guys for our second Meet the Maker series installment to Christy and Bernie, a couple who have built an amazing store and brand around artisanal chocolate and cookie products right here in Burlington. And here we go. So we are so glad to have Christy and Bernie from Christy's Gourmet Gifts here today. And I'm here to talk to them about their 16 years in business here.
Pushing 17.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us how you first got started?
Sure. Thanks for meeting with us today, Stephanie. So it's exciting to be a part of this. So we started almost 17 years ago. We know that because we started when our youngest was born, and she just turned 17. And we just started very small, experimenting with my grandma's recipe, which was our crunch. And we actually started doing craft shows. And, you know, I was just looking for a little bit extra way to, you know, make a little money while I was on maternity leave. And that's how it all started. So very small,
Yes.
very small.
Yes, and she gave me a call saying, Bernie, I'm thinking about doing grandma's recipe. What do you think of that? And I said, yeah, that's great. Just don't expect me to help.
Yeah.
Right. Fast forward a couple of years later, and well, here I am.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how did you know that it was the right time for you to leave your job?
Well, because this business was growing too fast, so I had to leave my other career and go into this full time. Because it's you're either in it or you're not, right? So we had to be in it full time, but I fully embraced it. So I do a lot of chocolate travel as well. In the off season, I always travel. I always learn, take courses, because there's just so much to learn in this industry, and I love it. I have a great time with it. So and I teach as well.
He's always been addicted to chocolate, so it was like it was the perfect match.
What's the division of labor now between the two of you? What do you think your big strengths are?
I do all the heavy lifting now.
Yeah.
Right. So I do all the baking.
Let's
Christy does
clarify.
the mental mind work. And
this is your mental mind work.
yes. So when I'm in the back and Christy's here and I see her walk back, I tend to do like, whoa, you know, cringe because I know something's coming.
It usually starts with, I have an idea,
Yes.
and then he usually tries to run. I don't know why.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
And you think you can make this? You think you can make it like this? And you know, so which is fine. I like doing that.
Yeah.
But it's just when the insanity hits, it's hard to fit in little this and that during our production season, which is essentially starting now. Goes to Christmas. Yeah.
It's funny though, your greatest ideas, I'm sure other makers find this, like for me, my ideas come when I'm in the moment. So like I would love to be planning for Christmas in January, February, but I'm not in the zone, and it's not until I'm in the zone that I'll be like, oh, this would be so great, you know, if we could start. And then so that's when he's like, stop it, you know, don't come to me with your ideas in the middle of chaos. But you know, again, you have to be able to be adaptable and innovate quickly. So we try.
Especially with it being such an all-encompassing family business, how do you proactively make sure that you're balancing well between when you started, your kids were obviously very little.
Yes, babies.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're very good at balance, Stephanie. I'm not gonna lie, but you know what I think we're very good at is keeping our core values solid, and that's always been family first. And so you know, we would drop anything to be there for our family, and that's just the way it is. And I think our customers know that about us, right? Like there's been times we've had to put something up in the door that says, sorry, family gathering or family emergency or whatever it is, and they've been very, very supportive of that. And so I guess that's, you know, we've always tried to put that first.
Do your kids like the business?
That's a great question. I think they loved it when they were little, and
there
then
was chocolate.
yeah, because there was chocolate, and they like to help mommy and daddy. All kids like to help mommy and daddy.
I'd say our kids' friends like the chocolate company because they all seem to have part-time jobs here. At one time or another.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's so we utilize our kids' friends a lot.
So when I talk to a lot of the makers that I work with, I find that one of the biggest leaps of faith for them is to invest in brick and mortar and to invest in staff. Those are the two biggest things that we talk about. So how has that felt for you guys? How did you know when that was the right moment? What was part of that decision?
Well, that is a big, scary decision for sure. And I don't know if we ever really knew it was the right moment or if we had that confidence. But for us as a food business, obviously, you know, you have to have a commercial kitchen. You have to be inspected regularly. And for us, back 17 years ago, that was very challenging to find that space. Now they have places like incubators, and some small companies can do those, go to those types of places. But for us, we were renting churches and schools, anywhere we could to try to get a health inspected kitchen. And so for us, the need to find our own place was really driven from that originally.
It's challenging in this industry because it is very much seasonal. So after Christmas is over, it is quiet. So it's hard to maintain the staffing level at that time of year. So we do bring in seasonal staff, but we do have some full-time staff as well that we can try to maintain through the slow periods. And we during that time we'll innovate and develop new concepts and ideas for the busy season.
How do you keep your creative energy going strong, and how have you been growing and sort of directing the business? How do you decide which way to go over the years?
We like shiny things, don't we?
Well, you in particular.
We get distracted very easily. That's a great question.
Thanks. Took me a while to get there, but
yeah, it's really good. You know, I think we are inspired by everything that we see. We've always got our business on our minds a little bit, and so one thing that for sure inspires us is travel. We both like to travel, so we go to many different places. We like to try new foods, see new visual things, and then every time we travel, we are always inspired by something new to create and taking our own spin on it. And so I think that's something that has helped us grow as a business, is always, you know, trying to think about, how could we do this, or what's the next thing we want to try to create. We never have stopped, actually. We started with our crunch, we added shortbread, and we just kept adding from there. And I think being innovative and agile is really important for small business, because you don't know what the emerging trends are. You have to stay on top of them, and you have to listen to what people want, listen to your customers, and then keep innovating and driving change.
And always stay one step ahead. Always try to, I think our goal, and my goal in particular, is I always like to create something that doesn't exist, right? So something that's new and innovative and also tastes good. So that's always a lot of my focus, and then Christy jumps in and tries to steer me a little different direction, so she'll tweak what I've got going on, and because sometimes the concept may be there, but it may need some fine tuning. But and that's like with my travels. I traditionally go away and after a busy season down south, work with the farmers and come up with new concepts to bring back, and then we try to see how that'll fit the profile of our business.
Yeah, and well, I just love that you know where all your ingredients are coming from. I think that's such an amazing difference between sort of the small family-run artisanal shops and shops where you've just got to order from whoever the cheapest supplier is or the biggest supplier is, but you can actually go and see the farms themselves.
And see where it all comes from and how it's made and how the people are treated who make it. Right, so you get to see all that and bring that back. And it also inspires you to do a little bit more back here as well. So we'll really research our product line of the ingredients we order. We'll go through several different types of butter, for example, until we find the right one, that works the best. So Yeah, it may be a little bit more expensive. Like some of the chocolate we bring in, we do bring in some pretty expensive chocolate, but to us, it's worth it. It's worth it. If you're gonna, I would say, if you're gonna eat the calories that chocolate gives you, you might as well go for the really good stuff and really enjoy it. And we try to keep our prices as competitive as possible.
Your prices are great. Yeah. Well, and to a certain extent, people come to you for that. Like, why bother competing with one of the big brands?
Yeah.
When you can do something different.
Something niche and different. Yeah. So pretty much anything that you'll grab here on the shelves is a different spin on chocolate or some sort of a dessert. That our goal is that you're not going to find it somewhere else. You can't go to the mall and find it, or a Shoppers Drug Mart. It's going to be different and unique to us. So that's one of the things that we really strive for.
Have there been any products that you were surprised were a hit or not as well received by your customers as you thought they would be?
Oh, always. You have to be agile enough to be receptive to the feedback you get from your customers, and then quickly respond to that and decide, okay, where am I going to go with it? Because one of the biggest challenges you have as a small business, to be totally truthful, is also it's a competitive marketplace. And so once you're out there with your great idea, somebody else has seen it, especially in the world today with Instagram and things like that. And so you have to be able to be quick to respond to what you're going to do with your idea.
Or when we come up with new products as well, what's really hard in this industry is to sell it, to let people know what it is. Because if they don't know what it is, they don't tend to buy it.
That's very true.
For example, we have a vegan gianduja bar. I love it. I think it's amazing. It's only 3 ingredients. I make it right from the bean. But you gotta tell people what it is, and they have to try it. And then when they try it, they'll like it. But you have to really get it out there because nobody knows what it is, right? So it's hard to push a new product out there because people they're not gonna buy it blindly. They want to know what it is. And that's why we sample a lot.
If you could go back, is there anything that you would change about how you started your business?
I feel like going back, we didn't, everybody always says you need a business plan, you need to know what you're doing. And we did not know what we were doing. We kind of fell into it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's how
really,
I run businesses.
Right? We fell into it, and then we decided we better learn what we're doing, and then we just went that way. So if I could go back in time, the only thing I would just keep telling myself is, you know what, it's going to be okay. So plan for where you want to go, but not where you are now, right? So, and I know that's classic advice, and you kind of need to do that, but unfortunately, when you just kind of plan for where you are at now, then you reach capacity really quickly, and then you need more space, or you need more, right? So if you're comfortable with that level of risk, which is always the challenge as an entrepreneur, because you don't know if it's going to work out, and you're putting your personal finances and everything on the line in the beginning, and it's scary, right? So it's really easy to say and really hard to do. So but you got to trust your gut, and trust the feedback you get from people. If people are saying this is awesome and we love it, then you should listen.
You roll with it. Yeah. So I think if we could change something, we would probably get a bigger place.
Yeah.
Right?
Because we're in this one.
We're at capacity.
Is this your first location?
It is. It is. So it's and we are we want to get more equipment, expand more, but the space is just we're tight, really tight. So it's hard to bring in new equipment because I don't have any more places to put it, right? So there's a lot of things we could use, but so far it's still okay. But
our staff have all agreed to just kind of sit on stacking seats. No.
Well, it's good that you like your people.
Yeah, we work close, really close.
And how about do you have a direction that you're aiming toward right now? Do you have a 5-year plan yet?
Well, our 5-year plan is constantly changing, so I think we have core strategic directions that we're hoping to further develop the business in. But again, like with the winds of change, sometimes you have to do a full 360 on those and adapt. And we've also had that happen where we think one area is going to be where we're going to drive and see some growth, and then we realize that didn't work out so well and we have to redirect. So, but we do have different areas we're hoping to expand into over the next 5 years for sure.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah.
out and up.
Okay. That was very vague.
Yes.
Yes.
Very political answer.
Very
Yeah.
political. I'm very
Always
good
very
at that. Yeah, thank you.
You're not going to tell me.
No, I'm not.
Thank you guys so much for watching through to the end. It has been such a joy chatting with Christy and Bernie today, and I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions that you want answered by experienced makers, make sure to put them in the comments below. And if there's anyone you want me to interview in Burlington or Oakville, make sure to put that in the comments as well. I would love to hear from you. And if you want to see more Meet the Maker videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell button, which will get you notifications every time we post a new video, which will be about once a month for this series in partnership with Look Local Magazine. Thanks guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button, comment, give us some feedback, because the more we hear from you, the more our videos get out there into the world, and the more we get to support handmade and local.
How's it working with my mother-in-law? Is that the next question?
You want to talk about that on camera?
Yeah.
Oh, no,